Hey there, welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I'm here to look at the energies of 2026 just to kind of give us all a brief overview. I'm hoping this could help you with setting your intentions for this new year and just kind of getting a feel for the energy of this upcoming year, which is very different from 2025. For better or for worse, it is very different. So welcome in. Thanks for being here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I have some notes, so I think I'm going to go over my notes, and then I plan to pull some cards just to get information for us. So this upcoming year, the words that were coming to me were courage, resilience, and change. This is going to be a year of change, but everything is always constantly changing, so that's pretty normal. I do have a sense that this won't necessarily be the easiest year because it is going to push us out of our comfort zone in so many ways. It's going to test what you thought were your limits. And in doing that, of course, we will grow, expand, and learn more about ourselves. We're being cracked open and forged by fire. Energetically, this year feels like a big gear shift. Oh, of course, there's always still work going on internally. But there's going to be, it feels, I don't want to say it's not an isolated year, but it feels like a year of going within and doing a lot of personal work that only you can do. A lot of self-reflection, a lot of facing your fears, facing the things that maybe you've been ignoring or not wanting to see. I don't think you'll be able to ignore those this year. It doesn't feel that way. And when I was feeling into the energy and I was asking for an image, a color, or something to kind of give me an idea of this energy, what I was shown was a door being opened and a foot kicking somebody out the door and then shutting the door behind them. And then this person is just kind of standing there looking around like, what the hell do I do now? And there's nobody else around. So that gave me the sense of there's so much that you will have to do on your own. No one else can do the work for you. It really gave me that sense. Not that we're going to be isolated or by ourselves, but people can walk beside you, but they can't hold your hand through the whole process. It's that kind of an energy. Every year, and I don't know if you guys do this. If you do, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your word of the year. I always ask Spirit to give me a word of the year, and they often will give me several different words, and then I'll pick the ones that stand out to me. One of the words, well, the word I picked for this year for me is anchor. That really stood out to me for a few reasons. And I'm sharing this with you because I feel like this will help you kind of understand the energy. I picked out anchor. They gave me like acceleration was a word they gave me. Determination was another word. Agility. I really like that one. I might use that one too. But the word that really stood out to me was anchor. And why that seems like a bit of a challenge is it feels like we are needing to anchor in to something that isn't physical, anchoring into the ethers. How do you anchor into something that doesn't have a physical substance? How do you anchor into that? And I thought this is going to be interesting to see how this word evolves throughout this year. And that anchoring into something that doesn't have a substance, doesn't have a structure necessarily in this world, was telling me a lot about the need to anchor into your power, your internal power, and also to your faith, to trusting in the universe, whatever it is, an energy bigger that is outside of you, that type of an energy. The other thing that I find interesting when picking a word of the year is oftentimes what comes up throughout that year is the exact opposite of that word. So for instance, last year my word was joyful. I think I experienced, well, I know I experienced many emotions. Sorry, I've got cat fur. None of them were joyful. Last year was not a joyful year for me. But it's interesting because it shows you what it feels like to not be in that energy. So the fact that the word anchor is coming up, that's telling me that this is going to be a year where whatever kept you stable isn't going to work anymore. Whatever brought you comfort probably isn't going to work anymore. We're being asked to ground in an unconventional way. And perhaps part of that could be because, maybe there were people that we anchored in to people that we relied on that aren't with us anymore. So it's how do you move forward without that anchor in your life? It could be, you're moving, you're in a new environment, you're working a different job, you're totally out of your comfort zone, and no one can anchor for you. No one can find that stability for you except for you. So that's going to be interesting this year. So pay attention to that, how you are anchoring, how you're finding stability in this upcoming year. Because it feels a little unstable, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like we can learn a lot about ourselves when we aren't in our comfort zone, and when the energy is a little chaotic, you can learn a lot about yourself. And I do feel like there's an energy of chaos to this year as well. Yeah, and I just wrote down, how do you create stability, and what does stability mean to you? That might be a fun thing to just kind of fill into. What does stability feel like to you? And is some of the way that you have anchored and stabilized yourself in the past, is some of that leaning into codependency? That can be something to look at as well. We are in a 10-1 year, numerologically, that's hard for me to say. It's a 10-1 year, which is really wonderful. I like the energy of that. Last year we were in a 9 year, and 9s are all about endings, death, transformation. We actually are just ending a 9-year cycle. So thinking back, I should have wrote this down. I think 2016 was 9 years ago. So thinking back 9 years ago, and maybe go through some of your journals or calendars to kind of get a feel for what was going on. Go back 9 years. Who were you then? What did your life look like? And, comparing it to where you are now, going into 2026, it's a totally different energy. I'm recording this, I think today is December 29th, so we're not quite in the new year yet, but we're getting close. But it's a 10-1 year, meaning that we have reached the end of a cycle, which was last year. Last year, we were in the year of the snake. Snakes are about shedding your skin and transformation, change, being really uncomfortable, sometimes very unclear about how to move forward. This year, we're in that 10-1, which is the cycle is over and we are starting again. We're starting a whole new cycle. So I want to talk about, well, I'll show you some cards too. So in tarot, the 10 is represented by the Wheel of Fortune. I'll show you a couple different cards here. Maybe Wheel of Fortune, Rider-Waite, Wheel of Fortune. That's 10, the energy of 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have 1, which is the magician, which I love. I love the energy of the magician. So let's start with that. Number one being the magician. The magician asks you to tap into your inner resources, utilizing everything you have, everything you have learned, your skills, your talents, whatever they are. You know, the magician asks you to take what you have and create something with it. And you have to be very present in doing that. The magician is the infinite possibilities. There's no limitation. This type of energy, and that's why I feel like it is going to push you out of your comfort zone, because this type of energy, it asks you to look at maybe parts of yourself that you haven't looked at, resources, untapped talents that you might have, you know, and how can you create with that? What can you create with that? And, you know, utilizing all that you have. It isn't necessarily about gathering more or getting more or learning more. It's about taking what you have and creating something from that place. And that's the energy of one. That's also why I feel a lot of the journey that we're going to go on this year is going to be very personal to you. It isn't going to be, so much of the growth is going to be you experiencing this journey on your own. Again, not that you don't have people around you, but there's so much going on that is going to be an internal thing, internal growth. The number one is also in the color mirror system, the color of yellow, which is the color of I am. It's the energy of the sun. So really, who are you? I feel like it is distilling. This year will distill us down in a way that we can see the pure essence of who we are, of what is important to us, of why we came here, what makes our light unique. I do believe that each one of us is an aspect of God, a light of God, a piece of God. And in that respect, we're each very different because we're reflecting a different energy. We're reflecting a different, what's the word I want to use here? Well, I'm hearing sparkle. A unique aspect, fragment. What is the facet? That's the word. We're each shining a different facet of the divine. And I feel like this year is really going to help each one of us get very clear about what that is. I think we're going to be able to see that more clear as the year goes on. So the color of yellow, that's also the solar plexus. It's the furnace of our soul. It's the furnace of our body. It's where we get a lot of our power from. It's the digestive system as well. It's the fire of your body. So this year is really going to help us gain that confidence. And I feel like that's because so much of what we are doing and it is on our own. You know, we are experiencing life in just a much different way. So confidence, self-esteem, really tapping into that power, which will force you to look at what are your fears, what are your limitations, what holds you back. I don't feel like you're going to be able to ignore that. So you just, keep that in mind and see how that shows up for you throughout this year. But I love that energy of yellow. The other thing that comes with yellow is it's the energy of the sun, which helps lift us out of the fog. It helps lift us out of depression. Yellow, if you suffer from depression, yellow is a great color to work with. And same with like your yellow crystals and that sort of thing. It buoys you up. The color of yellow, it's very uplifting. So we have that energy helping us, you know, push us along, which is going to be really nice. Then we also have the energy of 10, which is, 10s are kind of a weird, it's kind of weird because it's an ending and a beginning, like at the same time. And in the color mirrors, those colors are represented by gold and olive. So again, we've got that energy of yellow. But with the gold, it is the divine really stepping in to help us. It's energies and forces outside of us that are stepping in to really help us this year by bringing, you know, divine inspiration, ideas, you know, perfect timing, that sort of thing. We have, and the divine is always helping us in that way, but I do feel like it's very amped up this year, which is really fantastic. So pay close attention. And this is part of the isolation part. I feel like you'll be served really well this year by scheduling quiet time for you to be able to feel, hear, see, sense the information that your guides are bringing you, the information that's coming through you energetically. So paying attention to that. The olive color, this is accessing your wisdom, what you know to be true. And I feel like that's also where we're going to find that anchor, you know, when we're anchoring into the ethers, we're anchoring into something that doesn't have a physical substance. It does, but we can't, it's hard for us to sometimes perceive that. But this olive color is tapping into your wisdom, your inner strength, and it's trusting your heart. So this year, with the color olive, really asks you to lead with the feminine, which is a more receiving energy. It's not a, you know, hustle, let's push, let's make things happen. The feminine allows things to unfold. It allows energies to come to her. She's not seeking it out. She's allowing that energy to come to her. So it's also a year of maybe moving a little slower. And again, feeling in. It's the feminine really feels and trusts and listens. And that can be kind of challenging sometimes, especially when I think a lot of us have, and we've been trained this way. If you want to make something happen, you have to actually physically do things. And yes, that is true. And this year is a year of action for sure. But it isn't just doing for the sake of doing. It's being very intentional with the actions that you're taking and knowing why you're taking the actions that you're taking. That's going to be really important this year. I also wrote, you know, trusting your heart and learning to live in a different way. We might not know what that way is yet, but everything is going to change this year. If you didn't experience much change last year, you will this year. Although I do feel like everyone probably did. I don't know how you couldn't have experienced some level of change last year. I just don't. 2025 I'm speaking of. It is another year of change. So let's see, so I think I'm going to finish going through the notes, and then I'm just going to pull some cards and see what all of this means for us, the community here. It's the year of the horse. Now, I thought this was interesting because last year, I don't know if you guys experienced this, if you experienced this, but so much just I couldn't get a clear sense of anything. I couldn't get clear inspiration or clear direction. Things felt just kind of murky and muddled. It was hard to gain clarity. And again, it was the year of the snake, and that's pretty normal for that type of energy. With the horse is also connected to magical practice. Horses are said to be able to sense people working with magic, and we have the energy of the magician here. So aligning with your spiritual practice is going to be very helpful. The other thing with horses is they are connected to clairvoyance, clear seeing. And so that's why I'm saying I feel like this is going to be a year that we can see the path more clear. The information we're receiving from our guides it's more direct and it's more clear. And I really love that energy of the horse bringing that through. Horses are also very connected to freedom. One of my favorite things. I just want freedom in all ways. So freedom and also constraint, travel, power, freedom. So keep in mind, anytime an energy is showing us these energies, you're also going to have the opposite of that. So this year is going to show you all the ways that you are constrained, whether you're doing the constraining or it's coming from an outside source. It's going to show you that. And I feel like the challenge of this year is figuring out what to do with those constraints. How are you going to navigate that? What are you going to change? This is a year of empowerment. So empowering yourself and breaking away from these constraints, whatever that is. And I do keep hearing codependency. They keep bringing that up. So anywhere in your life where you are codependent on another person, a substance, whatever it is, that is going to be very highlighted. You won't be able to get away from it this year. So just keep that in mind. It's not, God's not trying to punish you. No one's trying to punish you. It's a year of breaking free. So you will be shown all the ways that you don't have freedom, all the ways that you are trapped. And when you run into those instances throughout the year, ask for the guidance. How do I break free from this? How do I move forward from this? And we'll really start to feel this energy of the horse around the Chinese New Year, which is February 17th. I love the Chinese New Year because it's the first new moon of the year. That makes more sense to me than saying the new year starts on January 1st. And it's the fire horse. So fire is a very masculine energy. Fire is about bold action and transformation. It's about overcoming fears. It's about distilling down to what is the purest. It is also about burning away anything that is not aligned to you. It will be taken away from you. Anything that is not in alignment to your greater good is going to be taken from you, burned away from you. Fire is incredibly destructive. It moves incredibly fast. It's hard to control if it can be controlled at all. And it burns clean. It purifies. That is the fantastic thing about fire, is it purifies. It burns until everything's at the purest form, which is ash. And then you're left with, what do I do? What do I do with this now? How do I move forward? So there's going to be a lot of continued change going, throughout this year. What else did I write down? Oh, the other thing I thought interesting about horses is speaking, energetically and all of that. Horses are associated with birth and death. So again, two extremes. That's why I feel like this year is such the duality. You have the energy of the number 10 asking us to lead with the feminine, lead with that type of energy. And then we've got the bold energy of fire, which is very masculine and direct, that is going to be playing a huge part in this year. That brings in a little bit of like some chaotic energy. And especially, you know, if you think about, just take a minute and imagine, picture a fire horse. Picture a horse in flames running. I mean, how does that feel to you? What is coming up when you picture that? It feels really awesome, kind of scary, a little out of control, kind of chaotic. And when I'm dealing with the Wheel of Fortune, anytime this energy comes up in somebody's reading, it's a very positive card, upright. Wheel of Fortune, abundance, mastery, the ending of a cycle, all of the wonderful things that you could want. The Wheel of Fortune. If you're at the top of the Wheel of Fortune, often when I see this card, even when it's upright, there's going to be an element of chaos coming into someone's life. Yes, the chaos is going to bring in a lot of blessings and wonderful things, but it also brings in chaos. It's an interesting energy. It's a fun energy. You never know what to expect. So expect the unexpected. Anytime you're working with the energy of 10, especially the Wheel of Fortune, it's a fun energy, but again, it is a little chaotic. So I think what I want to do is I just want to get a feel for what this community here might be experiencing in the upcoming year. So I'm going to ask the question, what can we expect from the fire horse? What is the energy of the fire horse bringing us? And I'm going to pull from the Clarifying Life deck. And then I'll pull some tarot too. So, what can we expect from the fire horse? What is this energy bringing us in 2026? I'm hearing learning to walk alone, learning to do things on your own. And I do feel like we're going to find stability in that as well. What is the fire horse? What is this fire horse bringing us? Oh, I love that. This is really nice. Again, going back to the energy of 10, it says your heart's desire. Sing along to your heart's song, for it knows what you truly want. And I do really feel that. I don't know if you can see that. Your heart's desire. And that really is tapping into that feminine energy that I was talking about. Not denying yourself of what your soul is craving. I do believe each one of us came here for a specific reason. Not only for specific lessons, but to share what we learn from those lessons and to share our talents and our gifts with the world. So not denying your heart's desire, allowing your heart to lead the way, allowing the feminine to lead the way. So I'm going to go ahead and, what else do we need to know about that? Let's pull 3 tarot cards and see what we get regarding our heart's desire. This is the blessing of the fire horse. It's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet energy. Berm, do you need to go out, buddy? Ooh, got the Chariot. I've got a cat that might be trying to jump up here. Nice. Okay. I am going to pause this for just a second while... Berm, do you want to go out? Let me see what my cat needs. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Had to let the cat out. Okay, so we're asking the blessings. What is the fire horse bringing us? And that's the heart's desire. The cards that I pulled, which I love. Chariot. We've got the Chariot here. Again, I love the energy of the horse here. We got the King of Cups. Our leveling up. We've got the 10 of Cups. So another energy of 10. So what the fire horse is bringing us is acceleration for sure. Speed, willpower, determination. We're going to have the energy needed to reach our goals, to step out of our comfort zone. The Chariot is going to bring us that energy. We're going to have that energy. We're going to have a clear direction if we choose if we choose to step out of our comfort zone. And I was feeling the energy of bittersweet because if you really are going to follow your heart, that probably means there will be things you leave behind. That it could be people, it could be where you live, where you work. You know, there's a bittersweet energy that comes with that. But it's also alignment, being aligned with our heart, being aligned with our authentic self, the reason why we came here. So greater alignment this year, which I love. And we have the King of Cups. This is, if he'll come into focus, the King of Cups. This is mastering this is becoming a master of your emotions. This is not allowing the world or your emotions to take you off track. This is staying very calm, centered, and connected to the divine, and to your authentic self. It's not, and I do feel like this is what we're going to really learn to embody this year. It's kind of the energy of, I'm not going to use that word. I don't like that. But it's being the best version of you. And again, you are mastering your emotions. You are not allowing yourself to be carried away in other people's energy. You know, you are very aware of what's going on in your mind, in your body, in your heart, and you're listening to that. It's being very true to you. And in doing that, we have the energy of the 10 of Cups, which is bringing happiness and joy. And this is also where you're going to find that anchor. It's in following your heart's desire, in following what is in alignment for you. This means that you're going to have to shed versions of yourself, and shedding your ego, shedding maybe some of the identities that you thought you were. It's allowing that to be burned away from you, so you can really connect with the true part of you. That is what the fire horse is bringing us this year. And if you can allow that process to happen, it will bring you greater harmony, connection, and a deeper connection to yourself and the divine, which is going to help you feel more stable. And and natural. There's a really natural way of being and living with this energy of the horse coming in. It's getting back to your roots. Again, the energy of the magician coming in, connecting with the resources and everything that you have. It isn't about acquiring more things or more knowledge. It's about really distilling down the purest form of everything you have, and how can that bless and serve you? So I want to look at I'm going to ask the question now regarding the magician. What can we learn from this energy of the magician? What is the magician bringing us? What is the energy of the magician bringing us? Yeah, I keep hearing a lot of the same things. It's your true purpose. It's tapping into your full potential. It's stepping away from what the world is asking from you, and it's stepping into what you came here to serve. You know, what you came here for. Magician. Interesting. I pulled this card earlier for myself. The card says fully immersed. Everything you want is all around you. It's just waiting for you to see it. That is such the energy of the magician, because that's when I say resources. It's not just physical things that you have. It is the energy around you. It's tapping into the ethers. It's tapping into the magic around you, and what is that bringing through? How can that energy serve you? But I love the visual on that card. Everything you want is all around you. It's just waiting for you to see it. And my guides are saying, and hear it. There is a lot around. I mean, the horse brings the clairvoyance, so the clear seeing, the being able to see the path ahead. But clairvoyance is more than just that. It's being able to sense and feel. And my guides are stepping in really close on this side of me, the right side of me, and they do this quite often. There's always spirits around me. I can feel them constantly. And there's something about tapping into the energy around you and really listening to that. Like, what are you sensing? Really practicing that. And I'm also hearing, clairaudience for many coming online, being stronger. That's clear hearing. And I hear it in two different ways. I hear it in my mind, and I at times will hear it outside of me, which that doesn't happen real often, but I will hear it like someone standing right here talking to me. But there's something here about really feeling into that this year and allowing yourself to listen to the energy. Feel it, sense it, hear it. Let's pull a couple tarot. The gifts of the magician this year. Oh, let me put these cards back in. So we are playing with a full deck. And we were always meant to live that way. They're talking about this. This is our natural way of being, that we have been desensitized from over time. We're being asked to go back to that and really listen to how the elements are speaking to you, how the directions are speaking to you, how the animals around you are speaking to you. What are the messages? Really tuning into that and allowing yourself to be guided by these energies. What else do we need to know about the energy of the magician? It's a very empowering way of being, and when you are able to tap into that, you really get the sense that you're not alone. You really know that you're not. So even though you might be walking an isolated path, or you might be feeling very alone, you are not, because everything is speaking. Everything is speaking to you. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the Hierophant, we also have the Wheel of Fortune. I love that the cards are bringing in the energies that we're talking about. So the Magician, what is this energy of the Magician bringing in for us? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Kind of a similar message that we just got. But the Magician and also the Divine. When we think of the Magician, you can picture that energy of the Magician as also being your higher self as well. It's the part of you that is always connected to the divine. Ace of Pentacles. When I think of the aces in the tarot, there is a divine energy that comes through all of the aces. Ace of Pentacles, the Magician is bringing through new opportunities around resources, how you make your money, where you live, who you live with. Pentacles and Tarot is talking about physical resources, things that you can touch, feel. They're tangible items in this world. So the Magician is bringing in new opportunities. And I feel like the reason why these new opportunities are coming in is they're coming in to help us. If you are choosing to align with your true sense of self, the universe, the Magician is going to help rearrange your life so you can live that lifestyle, whatever that is. It's perfect timing. It's perfect opportunities. But it is going to ask you, many of us, to take action on that. So for some, it can be moving, buying a new home, rethinking how you make your money, how you make a living. Ace of Pentacles is also asking you how you are spending your time and how can you do that in a different way. This whole year to me feels like creating almost an entirely new life that is more aligned to who you truly are. And in doing that, it's going to bring us greater happiness and joy. Because again, anything that is out of alignment, we're going to really feel that constriction. We're going to feel confined, constrained. It's going to be very uncomfortable. And that's why I say I feel like it's going to be really hard to ignore that. Maybe in the past, you've been able to suck it up and just go with it because that's where you're at and that's what you're doing. This year, you're really going to be asked to look at why are you sucking it up? Why are you going along with something that is not aligned with you anymore? Don't do that. How can you not do that? And through these new experiences that we're having in learning to really listen and lead from the feminine, take action from the masculine, but really being open to an entirely new way of being in this world, it brings us to the Hierophant. the Hierophant is taking everything that they know and they're teaching it to others. The Hierophant is connected to God. They are receiving messages from God. They are sharing that information with others. They're sharing how what life has taught them. It's sharing that wisdom. And I feel like all of us, if you're open to it, you will be able to find those mentors to help you along the way this year. And also possibly becoming a mentor in all sorts of ways. It doesn't have to be in a spiritual way. We all seek out experts in whatever particular field you are in. Because we all need that. We didn't come here to be experts in everything. So lots of wisdom, lots of guidance is coming through from the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. That was the third card that we got in regards to the Magician here. Things are constantly changing, evolving. And again, the Wheel of Fortune definitely does tap into the energy of the Ten of Cups, especially with this card in this particular deck. It's true happiness. It's a happiness that is coming from within. It's being really fulfilled. And it's also knowing that no matter what happens or what challenges fall before you, you will have the wherewithal, the resources, and the knowing of how to move through that challenge. And I also feel like just life experience as you go throughout life, you get that sense of security. I don't always know what the hell I'm doing or what choice to make, but I just trust that everything's going to work out, and it always does. So I think I want to pull one more card, and I think I will leave it there. This feels pretty complete to me, and I hope it feels complete to you. I am excited for this year. I'm always a little apprehensive too. So, final guidance. I'm gonna pull a card, but then just anything that you guys want to add. They're talking about really allowing yourself to play and have fun. We weren't meant to be working 24/7, being super serious and worried about everything. So finding time for joy. And they're also talking about part of learning how to master the waters of your emotions, the tides, all of that. Part of that is allowing yourself to be in every aspect of being, which play is a part of that. Having fun and not being super serious is a part of that. It's allowing yourself to be like a child, to be silly, to be carefree. It's allowing yourself to be in an energy that we often will say, I'm not being productive. I shouldn't be doing this. It's not making me money. It's a waste of time. Play is never a waste of time. Creativity is never a waste of time. That it's really important to share that. They're also, and I was thinking about this last night, they're also talking right now about sometimes they just kind of make me like want to cry. So I'm going to try not to cry. It's happy tears. But what they're talking about is some of what gets us through the challenges is, so they need to step back a little bit. It's a really good feeling, but it just makes me cry. And I don't like it. Yeah, that's an example too. part of what gets us through challenging times is other people's art, it's other people's creativity, it's other people, movies, like physical art, books. It's the things we sometimes distract ourselves with, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's other people's creativity that help us get through the challenging times. They know I hate crying, so that's like pushing me out of my comfort zone to cry on video. So thanks, you guys. That's also going with your natural way of being, allowing yourself to feel what you feel and not controlling it, which, yes, I know. All right. So final message. Good grief. Two of Swords. Interesting energy. Again, duality. Really important to take the blinders off and really look at everything this year. And what is your soul's desire? What is your heart's desire? What did you come here for? And that can change, like your what you are desiring, what you want. I do feel like that does change throughout your life. But what you came here to serve stays pretty consistent. The medicine that you offer stays, I feel, pretty consistent. So what is that? What is your soul's desire? What would bring you true happiness and joy? What are the resources around you? And we have a choice to make. We can align with that and take the blinders off, or this year they're showing me the image of someone's foot being tied to a rope that's tied to the horse, and the horse is running. So you can either work with this energy and ride this energy, or you can keep your blinders on and stay stuck in whatever way you are stuck, and this fire horse is just going to drag you behind it. So the choice is yours. All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to add? So they're just wanting me to remind all of you that each one of us came here with guides. We chose those guides before we came here. They are here to be in service. They're with us to be in service to us, to help us. So please tap into them, get to know them, allow them to step closer to you. It isn't scary. At first, it can sometimes feel a little unsettling, but allow them to help guide you. And they will always do it in a very, if you're new to this, they will be very soft and gentle as they come in. You know, they're not going to scare you. They don't want to do that. So tap into them. All right. I think I feel complete. I hope you all feel complete. I will be offering discounts. I'll have the discount code below. If you'd like to book a one-on-one, we can look through your year. We'll go month by month and just kind of get an overview of things coming up, challenges, what months might be your optimal months, that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. I love just kind of getting an overview, seeing what lies ahead. I like that. So if you enjoy that, if you would like that, I'll have a code below for 30% off readings and energy work. And if you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like me to read on or talk about, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to do that. Blessings on your new year. I hope it's fantastic, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye for now.